Some e-bikes are built with a more is better attitude, and this is definitely one of them, with dual motors, big fat tires, and full suspension. Hey everyone, Mike here with Electrek, and today we're reviewing the EUNORAU Defender S. Let's check it out. This is another one of those I can't believe they actually built it type of e-bikes. It's as if an excited kid designed this thing and asked for dual motors, full suspension, and dual batteries, and EUNORAU delivered. Though in my case, they sent me the single battery bike to review, but you can spec it with a second battery to double your capacity. More on that in a moment. Starting with the motors though, we've got a pair of 750 watt hub motors that add up to 1.5 kilowatts of power. Either of those would be fine on their own, but with two of them, the power is pretty ridiculous. On the street, I can get front wheel burnouts, and in the dirt, the 4-inch fat tires really grip well despite having so much power behind them. If anything though, it's almost too much power sometimes, and there's no way to modulate the throttle power. Some dual motor e-bikes have a switch to let you put it in one motor mode, and others have switches for eco and moderate power, but with the EUNORAU Defender S, you get all power all the time. When you ease on the throttle, the motors take off with serious torque. On the other hand, if you use pedal assist, then you will have a nice easy start. It's as if they programmed power ramping into the pedal assist mode, but then took the kid gloves off for throttle-only operation. You can get used to it, but that first throttle mash is a doozy. With all that power, you need serious stopping power too, and you get that through a pair of dual-piston hydraulic disc brakes. They aren't as grippy as I would have hoped, but they're certainly better than mechanical brakes. Either the pads are on the lower end of the quality spectrum, or they've already gotten pretty worn down from previous reviewers before me. I wouldn't be surprised, the bike looks like it's been through the ringer a bit too. The kickstand either broke off or was removed long ago, hence why all of my shots of the bike are leaning up against something or deftly propped up on a stick, which was no small task for this nearly 80-pound e-bike. On the battery side of things, I definitely recommend going with two batteries. This thing is rated for 80 miles of range with two batteries, but that's laughably inaccurate. Maybe if you only used pedal assist level 1 and you kept the tires at 75 psi, but otherwise these motors are a power drain when you use throttle. With the single battery that I was rocking, I saw significant voltage sag, so again, I'd upgrade to the dual battery option if I were you. The single 48 volt and 14 amp hour or 17 amp hour battery options just are not going to last very long if you want to do real off-road riding and take advantage of all that power, especially if you're going to be riding fast. Speaking of going fast, I could do about 28 miles per hour on the top end, which is about as fast as I really want to go on an off-road electric fat tire bike. They claim 35 mile per hour top speed, but I didn't see that, unless there's some secret unlock code that they wouldn't tell me about. The rest of the bike is pretty good, I'd say. We've got decent suspension with an RST guide fork up front and D&M shock in the rear. Neither are great suspension parts, and you won't be competing anytime soon, but they're just fine for backyard and trail riding shenanigans. You even get a front headlight, though it's more for road use, since it won't really light up a pitch dark trail on its own. And let's face it, a lot of people use these overbuilt electric fat tire bikes for commuter use anyways. Their big tires and full suspension make them feel more like a motorcycle, and you can even hop curbs without much effort. Try that on a road bike or a hybrid commuter bike. The price here is the only big killer. It's $27.99 for the single battery option, and either $31.99 or $32.99 for the dual battery option, depending on the size of your second battery. That's a pretty pricey bike, though the dual motors and dual suspension definitely add up. There's no doubt about that. So if you have the spare cash, this is absolutely a fun e-bike, but it's hardly a deal for anyone shopping on a budget. Thanks for watching everyone. We hope you enjoyed that review of the EUNORAU Defender S. If you did, why don't you give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any of our future electric vehicle videos. We'll see you here next time.